NASCAR Xfinity Series race officially concluded from Watkins Glen, and Connor Zilisch dominates and wins a wild and wacky race at Watkins Glen. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to your video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Watkins Glen, the Mission 200 at the Glen. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. Let's begin by talking about the driver who won and dominated the race, and that, of course, is Connor Zilisch. Connor Zilisch today absolutely put up a dominant clinic from the get-go. We all thought that Shane Van Gisbergen was going to give him competition early in the day, but right from the get-go, that 88 car was so strong and really, really good, and started pulling away from the field in the early portion of the event. In the early portion of the race, Shane Van Gisbergen would keep up a little bit. It seemed like that number 9 car had some decent pace and speed early, but there would be caution that would come out on lap number 5 when Josh Blicky and I believe another car got stuck in the gravel trap, I'm pretty sure, and I believe it was Anthony Alfredo who spun out at that point as well, bringing out the first yellow of the day. Once we got to that restart, Shane Van Gisbergen actually put up a really, really good fight against Connor Zilisch on that restart and got the lead for a second, but eventually Connor Zilisch got a really good run and was able to clear for the race lead, and Connor Zilisch started pulling away from the field while Shane Van Gisbergen, his biggest competitor at that point, basically got up to second position and was coming toward the front. And then they had to choose. Are you going to stay out at this point, or are you going to come down pit road to try to play strategy? Well, guys like Connor Zilisch, Shane Van Gisbergen, William Swalch, all those guys, they would come down pit road to try to get up front at the start of stage 2, while a lot of guys like Justin Allgaier and Taylor Gray, they would stay out to get stage 1. Justin Allgaier would come off the corner and win stage number 1. We get back going on stage number 2 of the event, and we see a really good battle between SVG and Connor gets a really good restart, and at this point, he just checks out and pulls out to near 4-second lead at one point in this race. That 88 car continues to flat out dominate and starts pulling away from the rest of the field and pulls out to a really big gap. Shane's keeping up a little bit, but during stage number 2, they would all actually stay out at this point. Connor Zilisch would dominate, and he would come off the corner and win stage number 2. I think Daniel Dye had a flat tire near the end of the stage, but outside of that, not a lot of chaos would happen. Connor would come off there and win stage number 2. Then we got back racing once again in stage number 3, and Connor Zilisch would be the race leader on the restart. But a couple guys would try to play a little strategy, including Shane Van Gisbergen and Jesse Love, who would come down pit road with around 30 to 35 laps to go in this race. With 31 to go, Shane Van Gisbergen would come down pit road. And then an untimely caution would come out for Sheldon Creed, who got turned by Parker Retzlaff. Parker Retzlaff got a little bit sideways. We didn't really get a great replay originally. Seemed like Parker went a little too wide and got into Sheldon Creed a little bit. I don't think that was intentional. Just an unfortunate mistake there to get into Sheldon Creed. Just a big mistake, but I feel for Creed because Creed had a really good run running inside the top 10 most of the day. Because of this, guys like Connor Zilisch, Sam Merritt, Austin Hill, you name it, would all have to come back down pit road to top off and come down pit road to get tires. And actually, you had a couple guys come down and get ahead, including, I believe, Carson Quaffel, I believe William Swalch, also a couple other guys would come down pit road at that point and get ahead of Connor Zilisch. On the restart, chaos would ensue. SVG got a really solid restart and Jesse Love and got the race lead, but Jesse Love kept up with him for a second, and then Austin Hill and Connor Zilisch did their job and got up to second and third. Eventually, Connor Zilisch got up to second position. With around 25 laps to go in the race, Connor Zilisch got by Austin Hill and moved up to second, and they were starting to charge their way up, and we had a really good battle for the next couple laps between Connor Zilisch and Shane Van Gisbergen. They both were battling back and forth at times. Connor would make a move to the inside, but couldn't get by him. SVG was doing a lot of defending. He was blocking quite a bit at this point as well, and Connor got to him. With around 20 laps to go in this race, with 18 laps to go, everything would change. Connor would get a really big run to the outside of Shane Van Gisbergen going into turn number 6. Connor would go down the track, come back across the racetrack, and get into Shane Van Gisbergen, spinning him really hard and hit the inside wall very hard coming into turn number 7, bringing out the caution, and Shane Van Gisbergen's car would be destroyed, bringing out the yellow. A lot of people have had their thoughts on the incident. I'm just going to get my thoughts real quick. To me, I think it's on both drivers. I don't think that Shane Van Gisbergen's fully at fault for the incident, but I don't think that Connor Zilisch also is fully at fault for the incident. They're racing really hard for the lead at that point. I guess there's still like 18 or 17 laps to go at that point. You can be a little more patient if you're Connor, but Connor did get forced wide quite a bit by Shane Van Gisbergen there a little bit. Shane was putting some aggressive blocks, but he also didn't have to push him so wide at that point, and Connor didn't need to go that wide at that point as well. He came back across the racetrack and got into Shane. To me, that's just a racing deal. Yes, Connor's gotten aggressive at points, but I really can't put full blame on Connor there. Also can't really put full blame on Shane Van Gisbergen there. I think they're both just racing really hard at that point, and I think that was unintentional. Yes, it looked like a right hook, but it wasn't intentional by Connor Zilisch. Because of that, Connor will have a little bit of damage. And we got back racing once again with 13 laps to go, and Austin Hill just made a dumb move after getting suspended for a race, would run in the back of Connor Zilisch and move him up the racetrack. And it would be him getting the lead, but Michael McDowell kept up quite a bit. He got the lead for a second, and then eventually Connor Zilisch got back by and took the lead with around 10 laps to go. And then another caution for a big crash. That would be caused by, you guess, Austin Hill. Let's talk about this incident real quick. Austin Hill and Michael McDowell get into contact against each other, where Michael McDowell is battling for around second or third position at that point. Coming off of turn number 5, Austin Hill will be on the inside of Michael McDowell and would basically go way wide and just turn straight right into Michael McDowell, spinning him out, spinning him hard into the outside wall like he had the incident in 2014. And this caused the biggest chain reaction we have seen throughout the year so far. A lot of cars get collected in this crash, including William Sawash, Josh Walicki, Ryan C. gets collected, Nick Sanchez gets collected, Blaine Perkins gets collected. I believe other guys like Ryan Ellis got collected in the crash as well. Other people got collected. I believe Taylor Gray got some damage in that crash. I think Jeb Byrne got collected in that wreck. Jesse Love, I think, got collected in that wreck and got damaged as well. And there were a lot of guys that got caught up in this wreck and incident. Was the crash intentional by Austin Hill? In my opinion, after looking at it, no. But that was still a stupid move by Austin Hill. And considering that Austin Hill is coming back from a 1-week suspension and went on the record and said that he is not going to change the way he races, he basically has not learned his lesson. He had that 1-week suspension after intentionally wrecking Eric Almirola, which he still says was not intentional, which, yes, Austin Hill, it was clearly fucking intentional. I don't know what you're thinking it's not intentional, because it was clearly intentional, dude. You can clearly see that you right-reared him. You can say what you want. You're not going to get suspended for that. And to do something like this is absolutely stupid and uncalled for. And this is not the first time Hill's done this. He's done this so many times over the years. He hasn't learned from his stupidity. He hasn't learned anything at this point. And I don't know if you suspend him. I don't know if they're going to suspend him at this point for the crash. But Austin Hill's got to learn. And he just caused a big wreck. He could have hurt a bunch of drivers. Thank God Michael McDowell was all right after that incident, because that was dumb and really, really stupid on Austin Hill's part. That was just unnecessary and uncalled for. And it caused a 45-minute red flag because of that. Just dumb and unnecessary move by Austin Hill. And like I said, that's not the first time Austin Hill's caused a crash and incident. He hasn't learned anything from the prior week, just way too aggressive, not intentional, but hasn't learned a damn thing from what he did prior. And I'm sick of Austin Hill driving like a maniac on the racetrack, because he does every time it happens. And then on the ensuing restart with 3 to go, because Nick Sanchez actually went into the tire barrier, we go back racing with 3 laps to go, with Connor Zilisch getting a decent restart, but Sammy Swift actually got a really good restart and actually got the lead for a second, but then Connor Zilisch got a really, really good run on Sammy Swift and was able to clear for the race lead, and Connor Zilisch started pulling away. His car was always really good throughout the day and started checking out to a pretty solid lead, and Sam Merritt actually got by Sammy Swift for second with around 2 laps to go in the event. Sammy Swift would try to do everything he could to keep up with him, but he didn't really have anything for him. As it came to the white flag, Connor Zilisch had an over 2-second lead, and coming off the final corner in the race, Connor Zilisch picks up a dominating cling and wins his 6th Xfinity Series race of 2025 and his 7th career NASCAR Xfinity win, and back-to-back wins at Watkins Glen as well. Coming into this season, we all kind of expected that Connor was probably going to be really good at the road courses, and he's been so good at the road courses so far this year. But he's been the guy to beat in Xfinity. 11 straight top 5s, 5 wins in the last 11 races. His numbers are staggering. I think he's got a second-place average finish in the last 11 races. Yes, there's some controversy among this win for Connor, but what Connor's been doing this year is absolutely incredible. He's had a phenomenal season with this team and organization, and I think it's safe to say he's a championship favorite at this point. He's been doing a fantastic job, and I've been so impressed with this young man, but doing a really, really great job. Obviously, we'll be in the Cup Series next year with Trackhouse Racing, just not officially announced to replace Daniel Suarez next year. But congratulations, Connor Zilisch, on putting together an unbelievable performance today. Did a fantastic and great job. Dominated the race. No one really had anything for him. His biggest competition kind of took out, unfortunately, but he had a great card nonetheless. Before that incident, he wins the race. Congratulations, Connor, on continuing to put up some really strong numbers and getting the win. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the race results and to get my score and thoughts on today's race. So Connor Zilisch picks up the win. Sam Merritt finishes second, backs up the win from last week at Iowa to get another really strong finish. A great day for Sam Merritt. Had top 5, top 10 speed throughout the day. Had a really good car, was really fast all run. Finished his second. Great run for Sam Merritt. Sammy Smith finished third, ran top 5, top 10 most of the day, showed some really good speed out there, had really solid speed, got some stage points today as well. He comes home with third place finish. Good run for Sammy Smith. Austin Hill finished 4th, even though I'm really angry with Austin Hill. He did run really well, all things considered, before the stupidity on the racetrack. So he does get a top 5, so I have to give him credit for that, but still drove like an idiot today. Carson Quanville finished 5th. How about that? He kind of was quiet most of the day, ran around the 8th to 10th range. Showed some solid speed throughout the day, survived some of the carnage and incidents to get really solid finish. He finished in 5th. Justin Allgaier finished 6th. He really wasn't a factor all day, but he took tires and actually got a decent position. He might be so close to leading the regular season championship, considering it'd be really close to that, considering he did finish and got stage points today, but just not the best car out there. It doesn't seem like the 7 team has a lot of speed right now. He finished in 6th. Austin Green finished 7th. Another top 10 run for Green. He's all reliable. He always gets top 5s or top 10s on road courses and generally runs really well. And today was no exception. He ran top 10 in points throughout the day and salvaged a solid top 10 finish in 7th. Really good run for Austin Green. Christian Eckes finished 8th. He had to go to the rear of the field, never got a chance to qualify because of the incident with Sam Mayer and Christian and SVG earlier. Got damage on the right front of the car, still recovered to finish in the top 10. Solid day for Christian Eckes. Brandon Jones finished 9th. I don't rate him as a road racer, so to see him get a top 10, he survived a lot of the chaos today and comes home in 9th. And Harrison Burton finished 10th. A solid top 15 run most of the day and comes home with a top 10, continues to do a lot better than Haley Deegan's done in that car this year. Solid day for Harrison. He finished 10th. Kaz Grall finished 11th. I want to give him a shout out. He legit ran top 10 a lot of this race. Had a solid car, qualified up front, and ran up front all day. This could be a potential landing spot for Corey Heim next year. Solid day for Kaz. He finished 11th. Brendan Poole finished 12th. Got through a lot of the wrecks and gets a top 15. How about that for Brendan Poole in 12th? 13th place finish. 13th place finish for Dean Thompson. Decent day for him. Not an amazing day, but he did show some decent speed. Jesse Love got damaged in that big wreck. He finished 14th. Jesse was never really a factor to begin with until the end of the race, but faded back quite a bit. Got damaged in that big wreck. He finished 14th. And Jeremy Clements, who caused an incident with Parker Retzlaff late, he finished 15th. Jeb Byrne, who had mechanical gremlins, they recovered decently, and he finished 16th. Decent day for him. Daniel Dye finished in 17th. Decent recovery after his mechanical issues. Taylor Gray finished 18th. Had a really solid day. Ran top 5 majority of this race, but got caught up in that big crash. Got damage on the car. He finished 18th because of that. Seven Parsons finished in 19th. Austin J. Hill, the better Austin Hill at this point, finished in 20th. Not bad for a driver making his Xfinity Series debut. He finished in 20th. Glenn Reen finished 21st. How about that? Gets a top 5 in the ARCA race and gets top 25 with Joey Gase Motorsports. Decent weekend for Glenn Reen. Parker Retzlaff got spun at the end, finished 22nd. Blaine Perkins finished 23rd. Nick Sanchez, who ran really well early in this race but faded back early, did have some okay speed but got caught up in that wreck and got into the outside wall, went multiple laps down, finished 24th. Michael McDowell, who had top 5 speed, maybe was in position to pick up the win with McCauley, got caught up in that crash. He finished 25th. William Swalch, who had a really good run today, had a 3rd to 4th place car most of the day. Looked like it was going to get a good finish. Nothing to show for it, though, after some really good runs as of late. He finished 26th. Josh Bilicki finished 27th. Ryan Sieg finished 28th. Ryan Ellis finished 29th. Kyle Sieg finished in 30th. Shane Van Gisbergen finished 31st. I think he was the best car outside of Connor Zilisch today. It just didn't seem like that 9 car really was that great today, to be honest. One of the worst performances probably for SVG overall, and he still contended for the win. So that should tell you how great SVG is at road courses. It just didn't seem like they had the overall pace and grip and speed to contend for the win today. Again, I don't think that was a full-on complaint to both of them. I think both of them more at fault at this point in the incident. He finished 31st, though. Anthony Alfredo finished 32nd. Matt DiBenedetto finished 33rd after mechanical issues. Preston Pardis finished 34th. Charlotte Creed after the crash finished 35th. Riley Hertz finished 36th. Thomas Uzieta, who fell out of the race, finished 37th. And Garrett Smithy finished last in 38th place. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole and get my score and thoughts on today's race. Honestly, I thought the racing today was really, really solid throughout the day. Sure, it was dominated by Connor Zilisch, and I'll give you that. Sometimes for some fans, it isn't the most exciting thing, but there were really good moments. Before the incident between SVG and Connor, they both were putting on an unbelievable, really good show. I thought that was a really good battle between those guys. And then he had some really good battles throughout the day as well. That battle before Austin Hill caused a big wreck between Hill and McDowell. That was actually a really fun battle as well for the 4 guys going up there 13 laps to go in the race. I think there was some good racing throughout the field. I don't think that this race is marred by a lot of chaos as much as we've seen in the past. I think it was better than the truck race for sure. The truck race was okay, right? It was a pretty solid race for all the chaos happened at the end. It didn't really devolve into that, which I'm really glad to see because it could have certainly devolved in a lot more chaos than it did. Wasn't as chaotic. It was chaotic, but wasn't as chaotic as that. My score today's Xfinity Series race, I'm going to give this race about an 8 out of 10. I did enjoy a lot of this race today. Really good battles. If it wasn't for the Austin Hill crash, probably give this race like a 9. but I still think it was a really solid event. And for me, it's 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the race, had a lot of fun. My score is going to be an 8 out of 10. So that is going to be it for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from Watkins Glen. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel notifications on so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. List description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Connor Zilisch on winning at Watkins Glen. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know it in the comments below. Tomorrow, we're going to have a starting lineup video for the Go Bowling at the Glen. We're also going to have the Cup review as well. Then, of course, we will have a news video discussing news over the course of the last couple of days. Talk about this Austin Hill crash with the sub. He commented on Eric Almirola as well. We'll also talk about the updates between 23rd and Front Row in the lawsuit. We'll also talk about Shane Van Gisbergen signing a multi-year contract extension with Trackhouse Racing, being there for the next couple of years. We got a lot of content coming this week on people like Haley D and SVG, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bo Wallace, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, Cletus Safar, Dodge Ram, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Eric Almirola, Chandler Smith, you name that. All the good stuff we'll be talking about it on the channel in the coming days and the coming weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.